Hello, friends. We are starting to get our very first results out there. Polls have just started to close across the United States. We're going to start hearing states called, projections, but we have our first exit polls that we're going to be discussing here on this video. I'm going to read you some propaganda that has been filtering into my mailbox here in Pennsylvania. Some of this stuff will be kind of shocking to you. It's just inflammatory type stuff. We also have voting machine and software issues across the United States to report. At least 3 states here already that I'm going to be sharing with you what's going on in these things. We're going to get you this updates and we're going to get these things to you real fast. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade and I am here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Disregard the Texas flag. That is because we stand with Texas in the crisis that they have with the border issues. All right, so let's start off with some of these voting machine and software issues that we're hearing reported in. There's a lot more coming in, and I'm just giving you the ones that are super verified, but we got a whole lot of other alleged stuff that we're going to be getting into in the coming hours, coming days, but let's talk about these things. Arizona, they had one of their counties across Apache County, their voting machines went down. This is in Arizona. Their voting machines just completely stopped working, and they were told basically to vote absentee with provisional ballots. Absolute crazy. We got Texas. We have Harris County reporting their early voting totals. Came in absolutely wrong. They just said that they messed up some Excel spreadsheets, and just the fact that you can mess up vote counts because somebody tabulates the wrong columns in the Excel spreadsheet is very concerning. Hopefully those issues are rectified. They're saying, of course, it's not going to be a problem whatsoever, and yet it definitely undermines the authority of what's going on out there. Pennsylvania, Cambria County, plus 2 hours to the voting times. Like I said, first polls are starting to close at 7. Not here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, it's till 8 p.m. But some states in the Northeast will start closing. Have already started closing, but Cambria County won't stop counting, won't stop receiving votes until 10 p.m. because a court of common pleas has ordered so, because people showed up to vote, and then after they got their ballots created, when they went to the counting machines would not scan them. So they were told, just put your ballot in this box over here, and we promise we'll scan them later. A whole bunch of people are like, nope, not going to happen. I'm going to come back later to vote once the scanners are working. The scanners did start working eventually. No word on what machines or what software was used for that. But the Court of Common Pleas agreed that means that they need to extend the voting hours until 10 p.m. so that those people could come back in and vote. So that's happening out there. Let's start talking about exit polls here. We have a major exit poll done by CNN, and they've just started releasing bits and pieces of this. So let's discuss some of these questions that they had on there. They don't want to give any projections on what their exit polls were for the way people actually voted. They don't want to release that information until after those states have closed. But they use them in their projections. So, but they are releasing some of the questions that they did alongside here. First question, how are you feeling about the way things are going in the United States? Enthusiastic, 7%. That's not good. Satisfied, 19%. A total of 26% were either satisfied or enthusiastic. Not good numbers. Dissatisfied, 43%. Angry, 29%. That is definitely not good news for Kamala Harris, who is part of the Biden administration. Being part of the ruling party is not a good thing, right? Next question. Opinion of Biden as president. Approve, 41%. Yikes. Disapprove, 58% disapprove of Biden as president. And Kamala Harris has said that she would do absolutely nothing differently. She doesn't think anything that they did should be changed. She's couldn't think of a single thing of how she would do things differently than President Biden. What is your most important issue? 35% said democracy, which, since you're having a vote, it's kind of ironic. But anyway, second, under 35%, but 31% said economy. 14% said abortion. 11% said immigration. Now, among Harris voters, 56% said democracy is the most important issue, and only 21% said abortion. So that is telling right there. Another exit poll question here. Trump. This is Trump voters. It's not just Trump voters. This is all voters. Which candidate's quality mattered most? 41% said has the ability to lead. 39% said can bring needed change. Needed change is not something you want to hear when you are when you're part of the administration, right? Cares about people like me, 9%. That's one of the things that Harris is supposed to be all about, is that she cares about people like me. Has good judgment. Isn't that another one of the campaign things that Harris is going for? 7%. Has good judgment, 7%. But ability to lead. That is not something that she has really campaigned on, and she has not really campaigned on bringing needed change. She sort of did, kind of like things will be different, we'll turn the page, but what exactly does that mean when you're part of the administration? Probably not a good sign for her. Condition of the nation's economy. 5% said excellent. I don't know if those people are just living under a rock or what. They must be from Washington, D.C. 28% said good. 35% said not so good. And 32% said poor. So with the economy not doing well, that is not good for the incumbent party. And Vice President Harris is part of the incumbent party. Family's financial situation today. Better than 4 years ago, only 24%. Worse than 4 years ago, 45%. That's not good. About the same was about 30%. All right, so those are the exit polls there. I'm going to also be sharing my experience voting here in Pennsylvania. I am in a deep red precinct, but let's just say I talked with some of the folks who are kind of observing what was going on there, precinct leader there. And she said basically that, and hearing some of the vote counts of how many people had voted in this deep red precinct really kind of speaks to the turnout in this for Republicans in Pennsylvania. And their opinion basically was that this is significant turnout, that they were seeing well above the normal turnout in red. And now this is even with early voting available, still seeing very high vote counts on election day. So that definitely bodes well for Trump in Pennsylvania. Also hearing anecdotally from other places, the turnout being very low in blue precincts. That's I saw a few Twitter threads on those type of comments. People talking about how in these blue precincts they're seeing very low enthusiasm. Now that could mean that they all voted early. That's possible, but we're seeing a lot of reports out there along those lines. Very high energy, very high excitement, and high voter turnout amongst Republicans. Also, we've been hearing a lot of reports of very strong ground game, ballot chasing where it's legal by Republicans, which is something that Democrats have been known for, but Republicans really getting into that game with the early voting, the ballot chasing, and was it ballot harvesting where that's legal. So we have all that happening. Let me pull out these things. So I got 2 months worth of mail when I was processing my mail today. That was one of my tasks here. And I got a couple of these things from the Center for Voter Information. Very, very legitimate looking stuff here. But the Center for Voter Information provides important election information to voters like you across the country. I'm sure they do. All right, so basically has it broken down in here like, here's an issue, and then who is yes or no for that of these different candidates. Supporting small business programs. Donald Trump, no. Kamala Harris, yes. Okay. Defending America from cyber terrorism. Donald Trump, no. Okay, that's pretty definitive. Kamala Harris, yes. And you can see that their source for that was Kamala Harris's Twitter account, because that's a real that's a legitimate source there. Her campaign Twitter account. Keeping manufacturing jobs in America. Kamala Harris, yes. Donald Trump, no. Donald Trump apparently is not for keeping manufacturing jobs in America. That's according to Spectrum News. That's a legitimate source. Never heard of them before, but apparently we should vote based on what Spectrum News says and what Harris's press releases on Twitter say. All right, another one here. Bipartisan border security. Donald Trump's a no on that. He is not for border security, apparently. I think the operative word there is bipartisan. Yeah. Kamala Harris is yes on that because she's got a press release from February. That's the source for that one. Checks on gun purchases. Now, I think that's pretty legitimate. Donald Trump is not for checks on... Clearly, he's not for background checks or anything at all. Yeah, that's not legitimate. Very misleading, obviously. Cutting Social Security and Medicare. Trump is a yes on that. Apparently. This has all got mailed out to Pennsylvania voters. Hopefully people not too impressionable about that. Kamala Harris is a no on cutting Social Security and Medicare, even though Trump has clearly said no, he will not cut Social Security or Medicare. And Kamala Harris's source on that one is her Twitter account once again. Some press releases. So covering that kind of thing. So we got you covered on kind of my report on what I saw at the voting place right there. Lots of reports of iffy issues happening out there. I'm going to continue running a bunch of those things down. I'll probably have more updates for you tomorrow on that stuff. We're going to start getting reports on what states are being projected to be won this way or that. Like I said, at least one county in Pennsylvania not closing until 10 p.m. So they may call the state without Cambria County, but that's going to be partially exit polls, but they're probably not going to call it until 10 p.m. until the polls close. They're not going to call it until the polls close because they don't want to influence the voting. So Pennsylvania will definitely not be called until 10 p.m. We're going to be up at least past 10 p.m. and we're going to get you some reports tomorrow morning And of course, there's going to be stuff streaming in all night long. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. We'll keep you updated as best we can. Keep posted on the Twitter account. And I'm going to try to get some sleep along the line here somewhere, and I'll probably have more coming at you tomorrow morning, whereas other channels are probably going to do a better job keeping you up to date on the blow-by-blow tonight. I know some of the channels out there are doing live streams. We got Pinball's doing his at 8 p.m., I believe. He may be starting early. I don't know. He did a poll on that, but I think most people said start at 8 p.m. like normal. So we got some live streams happening from different channels out there. Definitely check those things if you're looking for more information. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar, The Poplar Report, out.